What's up? What's up? Now you know what time it is again. It's time for another review. And today I'll be reviewing the episodic series, season 1 of Them. Now Them is about a African American family from North Carolina who moved to Los Angeles in 1953 during the Jim Crow segregation era of America, North America. Um, who experienced a bunch of traumatic experiences based on the color of their skin, based on systemic white racism in America. This series is really well done with a lot of style and a lot of clarity. The cinematography is extremely clear. It establishes the environment the characters reside in, come from, and are currently going into very well. It's very clear, it's very clean cut. The neighborhood and the city they work in, they live in, they go to school in, they exist in. It's very clear. And I think it was done on purpose too, as well, because to intensify what the experience of these four main characters in which the story focuses on is to heighten, just basically to enhance what their experience is regarding being mistreated because of the color of their skin. Now, what I like about this story, this series, is that it's from a different perspective regarding racism. While we see the reaction regarding white people not liking black people for no reason, we always see the physical manifestation of that. But this series deals with the internal reaction of systemic racism with these four main characters that happen to be black. And basically, it's a series about post traumatic stress. And we see the four characters and their individual reaction emotionally and psychologically, their reaction to systemic racism. The wife in the story, which is really, really, really effectively played by the actor who was cast in the role. We're shown in episode 5 a traumatic experience that she experiences, and it has this emotional effect on her hugely. Of course, if you watch episode 5, you see it. Leading up to that episode, we see it in flashbacks, which we think is maybe just like some kind of dream of nightmare or something she thought of. Like, what's the worst that can possibly happen to you in your life right now? That's how I took it when it's shown in the series. Like, it's just like a series, like clips. It showed as clips. It's just a series of like nightmares of something of the worst that can possibly happen. But we find out this actually did happen, and her baby ends up being killed. And we see in episode 8 that she bought the remains of their baby because they bury it where they're from in North Carolina. They bury their dead child in North Carolina, and she brings it without telling her kids or her husband. She brings the corpse with her. So she's severely psychologically and emotionally damaged by the murder, understandably so, of her child for no reason. She was raped in that scene too, in that episode as well, and our house was taken over temporarily by four white people, one white woman and three white men. And we see that play out. Her husband, him being fed up with always being mistreated and not getting the proper opportunities because he's black. And we're seeing this psychological, physical manifestation that's in his mind of a Jim Crow character, a character that was created in the minstrel shows as entertainment, created by white people, where they covered themselves in black makeup and blackface, red lips, white lips, and did these exaggerated movements and exaggerating the way they talked, supposedly imitating black people. Their eldest child, their daughter, she's about 14. We see her having a psychological episode where she is befriended by this pretty white girl. And this white girl is encouraging her and saying, "You're beautiful, you're great, you can do whatever you want to do." And her wanting to be white just like her, because somehow she's giving her permission to say you're beautiful as you are to be black, but she wants the physical manifestation of being a white girl. She wants to be white herself so she can be free and be just as beautiful, even though her episode mentally, the white girl is telling her she's great as she is. She still has a desire to want to be white herself, and her actually physically painting herself white to be free to do whatever she wants because she feels mentally and emotionally entrapped entrapped in general because she's black. The other character, their youngest child, is having this psychological episode and breakdown of her white teacher being abusive and dismissive towards her. Name is Vera. And we see that physically manifest. It's mental and psychological, but we see her manifest. We actually see the teacher. And it's just really well done. The post traumatic stress of dealing with severe mistreatment, severe misplacement in a country and a society that says you're worthless. And I thought it was really interestingly done. I thought it was done with a lot of clarity, like the cinematography. And I thought it was more the way it was left in episode 10, where it could be absolutely, there's more to explore down this particular way and perspective of storytelling from a psychological, mental, emotional disorder and condition. I really enjoyed watching this series. Um, at first, I thought it was produced and possibly directed by Jordan Peele. It has that aesthetic and it has that feeling and that just the look in general. You feel like, and also the subject matter, you feel like Jordan Peele could have been definitely 100% involved with this project, but he isn't. But it seems like they were inspired by his work, and understandably so. He's an incredible director and an incredible writer with Get Out and Us, and his future endeavors with Candyman. Although he didn't direct Candyman, the sequel was supposed to come out in 2020, but because of coronavirus, it was postponed. Understandably so. He produced that. He's also getting ready to shoot The People Underneath the Stairs, which is a remake from the 1991 film that came out. He started shooting in July of 2021. So I'm interested and excited to see that because of his previous work. Jordan Peele knows what he's doing. He knows how to storytell. And like he said, the real nightmare is real life. And the subject matter he likes to explore, that's a nightmare, is systemic North American white racism. There's some horrific things that have been done to black people from white people. And like I said, I really like the perspective that is explored as post traumatic stress in this series. I give this series a solid B. Now, please subscribe if you like my videos because I will be uploading at least one review a week.